Okay, so today is Friday, the 10th of January 2025. 2025 January, yeah. So we're doing our money analysis, and today is a big day in the FX market. I mean, the biggest day, if you want to call it that. We're having the NFP, that's a non-farm payroll, which is the biggest news event generally in the FX industry. From the like 2 days ago, there has been some kind of ranging in the market, and it's usually expected a week of NFP. Reason is because most of the other countries are also waiting for the outcome of the NFP. Dollar controls the market. The dollar alone has about 87.6% trading volume. So the biggest currency in the forex market is the dollar, is the American dollar. So other currencies sometimes will have to wait for the direction of the dollar before they bring out their own reports, policies, and then we have corresponding volatility on those other instruments. So that's why there's been some range in the market in the last couple of days. But after the NFP today, well, we expect volatility to return. Not just ordinary volatility, also direction, because the NFP gives direction to the dollar. So there's not going to be any fundamental event this morning, not at all. The first one will come up in the afternoon by 2:30 p.m. So we are going to be trading NFP live by 2:15 p.m. today. If you're on the platform this morning, you don't have a funded account, make sure you fund your account. We're going to be making money by 2:15. You don't want to miss out of this opportunity. You can still reach out now to your account manager, reach out to your account manager to send you the account number for PU Prime, fund your account, and get ready to trade with us by 2:15 p.m. And please note this event is strictly for funded clients. It's for funded clients. You don't do demo with NFP. You'll be wasting the resources. Let me put it that way. All right. So by 2:15 p.m., we'll have the employment change and unemployment rate from Canada. Now, this is Canada's own version of NFP. Normally, it comes up on the NFP day with the United States, but there are some instances where it doesn't happen that way. But today, we're having both Canada and US bringing out their employment data. But then our focus is not really going to be on that Canadian report. Our focus is going to be on the American report because it's actually the biggest one. So we're going to be having the average hourly earnings, the non-farm employment change, unemployment rates. Average hourly earning talks about the change in the price businesses pay for labor, excluding the farming industry. And if the actual is greater than forecast, it means the data is good for the currency. And non-farm employment change is a change in the number of employed people during the previous month, excluding the farming industry. So the farmers are excluded from this data, and actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. While the unemployment rate is a percentage of the total workforce that is unemployed and actively seeking employment during the previous month. And for this data, actual less than forecast is good for the currency. So by 2:30 p.m. on the dot, when this data will be released, if the actual, or let me say if the news comes out good for the dollar, because it could be actual greater than or less than, if it's good for the dollar, the color will be in green. And if it's good across board, we'll have a green, green, green scenario. And that means we'll have a massive bullish movement on the dollar. And if on the other hand, the news comes out bad for the dollar, the color will be in red, and then we'll have a massive bearish movement on the dollar. Now, some of this data may also, there could be conflict where you have some green or some red. In such instances, rather, we will see that that will lead to some spikes. Like let's say this two, they are green, and the last one is red. It will lead to a spike that is buying and selling simultaneously. That is usually not a good scenario because it will lead to instability in the market. So the best scenario is actual results and forecast we're buying or actual results and forecast we're selling. But I will still give you more insight into this later in the afternoon. So I'll flip over now to the technicals, to the charts for us to have a look at what to. Okay, let me see. We'll give you a more clearer view in the afternoon. But then technically, from what I'm seeing on the chart, the dollar index is trading at a resistance level, and we're having a rising wedge pattern. Technically, I'm looking at the possibility of the dollar selling. But then we'll still give you a more clearer view in the afternoon. And I'll be looking also at the USD CHF, where price is actually trading at a resistance level on the daily time frame. Technically, I would say I've been bearish on the dollar all week, and I still hold that outlook, even ahead of the NFP. But if there's going to be a change, we'll let you know in the afternoon. All right, but then there are some technical setup I'm seeing which might move before the afternoon if there is sufficient volatility to push it in the market. And those are the ones I want us to focus our attention on this morning session. Let's leave NFP to afternoon. I only had to give a little talk for the benefit of those who might be new or those who are yet to grasp the concept. Now, I'm looking at New Zealand USD for this morning. What I'm saying now has to do with this morning session. I'm sorry, I have so many instruments here, so I'm trying to scroll to get to the specific one. All right, so this is New Zealand USD. Yeah, New Zealand USD on the daily time frame. We can see. Let me check. Good. Let me go to the monthly time frame. Perfect. Now we can see on the monthly time frame we have a support level here. We have a support level here. Last month closed on that support level, and currently price is testing that support level on the 1 hour time frame. This is price testing that same support level on the 1 hour time frame. But not only that, it's equally forming an inverse head and shoulder pattern, which can lead to an uptrend. So if there's sufficient volatility in the markets, even if it's between now and the afternoon, it's possible we may have some bullish movement. But peradventure, it does not even happen in the morning. Then that means that if the news comes out bad for the dollar, then in the afternoon, that might push this instrument, in a bullish direction. So let's put our eyes on the New Zealand USD. I'm bullish on the New Zealand USD. Again, it could break out this morning, or it may be the NFP that will break it out. Either ways, I'm bullish on the New Zealand USD. All you need to wait for is a breakout above this trend line here, which is the neckline region, and you can trigger a buy trade when that happens. And a second confirmation will be that your RSI must be clearly above 50 as at the time you trigger an entry. And potential profit of this should be in the range. Okay, you can see entry is going to be around Fibonacci 23.6. Let's check to Fibonacci 38.2. Fibonacci 38.2 can give about 17 pips, and Fibonacci 50 can give about 31 pips. I mean, 1731, that's about almost 48 pips. That's not bad. That's combined. Otherwise, you may just take profit of 17 pips or 30 pips. Either ways, you are still a winner. So we're bullish on the New Zealand USD for today. So the reason why you have to be cautious with this is because it contains the dollar. If it doesn't contain the dollar, I wouldn't just mind, but it contains the dollar. So please trade with a lot of caution. And the second one I'm looking at is actually Euro GBP and Euro CHF. Sorry, GBP CHF, pardon me. Now for Euro GBP, this instrument on the weekly time frame, you can see that price hit a resistance zone in the course of this week. That's a resistance zone up there on the weekly time frame. You can see those shadows up there forming a resistance zone. So price hit it earlier on in the week and is forming a head and shoulder pattern. A head and shoulder pattern is a reversal pattern. Price is expected to break out downwards, possibly in the course of today. Confirmation is that RSI must be clearly below 50 at the point you trigger a sell on this instrument. So I'm bearish on the Euro GBP. And the other one is still the same pound, but then GBP CHF I'll decide on which one to pick out of the two of them now because I'm actually going to drop a signal on one of them. I won't drop on both, but I'll drop on one. All right, so this is GBPCHF. Let's do a top down again. All right, on the daily time frame for GBPCHF,
They're joking, and this is
the price hit a support zone yesterday, and on 1 hour is forming an inverse head and shoulder. This is an inverse head and shoulder pattern, shoulder, head, second shoulder, and we expect a breakout upwards when price breaks the neckline. Okay, so which one do we decide on? Let's check. Let's check the one that can give us the bigger profit. But in the real sense of it, GBCHF can be funny sometimes. It can spike and it can range. Let me put it that way. So let's see which one. Uh, but GBCHF actually moved more than the Euro GBP. So I think that's me. But in the real sense, it's not just about the movement. What is important is how smooth it moves. Euro GBP can be a lot safer, safety first. Okay, it's almost giving the same, almost the same. I think I'll go with the Euro GBP. All right, so we'll look at price breaking out below this recent low here on Euro GBP, and we can target our first take profit level right here, and that can give about 18 pips. If you want to take a second trade, you can target 61 pips on, sorry, Fibonacci 61 rather. So that can give about 34 pips, 18 and 34. All right, so I'll drop a signal now and I'll also update in the relevant groups. So we're doing a sell stop order, Euro GBP. Now, please, a word of caution, if this does not trigger before NFP, kindly close it. And if it's running as an NFP, please put your stop loss in place. NFP is above every technicals. So please, let's take note of that. Sell stop at 0.83626, TP1 at 0.83435, TP2 at 0.83300, and stop loss let's look at some pips above let's use the ratio 1 to 1. Yeah, the ratio 1 to 1 will be okay. Stop loss at 0.83826. All right, so I'll drop it now. All right, so that's the signal on Euro GBP. Sell stop at 0.83626, TP1 at 0.83435, TP2 at 0.83300, and stop loss at 0.83826. You can take that right now on your MetaTrader. Please trade with caution and practice risk management. I always emphasize on this, regardless of who is giving you a signal, always practice risk management. because we deal in a volatile market. So don't take unnecessary risk. That's what I'm saying. Don't say, oh, I'll put a standard lot. That's at your own personal risk. That's your discretion. All right, so that's going to be all from my end this morning. By the afternoon, we'll come up online for the analysis for NFP and we'll give you the signal for NFP. Like I said, we're trading it live. So if you are just joining us, make sure you're available in the afternoon if you have a funded account. If you have a funded account, then you can join us in the afternoon by 2:30 p.m. for NFP. There's still enough time for you to fund. Account funding with us is as good as instant. Just get account details from your account manager, then your account will be funded and you can be a part of the trading in the afternoon. Mr. Sonny, here is a card. I'll say it's good to be very careful with USD cards today. Reason is because we're having NFP from United States and Canada is having its own version also of employment change and unemployment rate simultaneously. So if the news doesn't come out to favor a good move on the USD card, it may actually not go too well. So please trade USD card with a lot of caution. But then to respond to your question on USD card, I believe you want me to analyze USD card. The only condition where the news may uh, be good to trade for USD card today is if the news comes out bad for the dollar and it comes out good. Sorry, if the news comes out good for the dollar, let me put it that way. If the news comes out good for the dollar, then USD card might have some bullish move. Now, I'm showing you USD card now on the daily time frame. Like I said, technically, up to now, I still have a bearish outlook on the dollar, except if the market sentiment changes. But for USD card, there's still a potential for USD card to move up. That's if the news comes out to favor the dollar. Or it's possible between now and afternoon, it might actually close up this gap. It's possible. And if that happens, then that means the news may come out bad for the dollar, which may now lead the decline. Because if USD card moves up to this resistance zone, then essentially it will have formed a perfect triple top pattern, meaning it's getting ready for a reversal. But if it does not move up to that level by between and 2 o'clock, then that means that if the news comes out good for the dollar, that might help it to close that gap. Or even if the news comes out bad for the dollar, USD card might still go up to close the gap before it decides to sell. So, like I said, if you are not already on the trade on USD card, please don't bother about this instrument for now because there are many uncertainties around it. Assuming it's already at the resistance, we might say, okay, at 2:30 we may expect a bearish movement. But even if by 2:30, even if the news comes out bad for the dollar, USD card might still go up to close this before dropping. Please don't quote me. I said might. I'm not saying will. I've not given anything definite. We don't control the market, but we can guide you by our experience. So please, if you can avoid USD card for now and in the afternoon, please do. That's the best counsel I can give for now. Okay, you're on a trade on USD card. Are you bullish or bearish? Mr. Sonny, are you bullish or bearish on USD card? You are bearish. Well, the truth is that whichever direction you are on, you just make sure you have your stop loss in place. That's the best advice I can give. Make sure you have your stop loss in place. And I hope you did not take too much risk because these are very critical things to note. Okay, Mr. Victor is asking me to check on GBP USD. All right, I'll do that now. Now, for GBP USD, like I said, the dollar is actually having a kind of a bearish outlook with price trading at resistance level on the daily time frame, even for the USD CHF and the dollar index. And for GBP USD, in reality, this I have a bullish outlook on the GBP USD. And even though I can't find a direct support, or let me see, uh, price, there is a support zone here, but price actually has broken out slightly below it. But then if I look further, I can see there is a trend line right here. Now, trend lines can also be used to determine support and resistance. Not only a trend line, on this other hand, this is actually a falling wedge, which is giving us an insight into a possible bullish movement. If I flip down to 4 hour, I'm seeing, let me clear that support zone since we don't really need it, the one on the weekly. On the 4 hour, we can see here that this is looking like a support here, which is forming something that looks like a double bottom. And on 1 hour, you can see the current hour candle is touching the tip of that support zone. And on 1 hour time frame, I'm seeing an inverse head and shoulder, which may lead to a bullish breakout. But I believe this bullish breakout may happen more when the NFP takes place in the afternoon. And that's why, even for that New Zealand UST, I will really focus more on it in the afternoon. Yeah, the one that may move this morning will be that Euro GBP or the GBP CHF. So I have a bullish outlook on the GBP USD for Mr. Victor. Bullish. But like I said, it's better to focus more on it in the afternoon during the NFP. If the news comes out bad for the dollar, then you see that GBP USD will go up. Even New Zealand USD will go up if the news comes out bad for the dollar. All right, you're welcome, Mr. Victor. I'll take a last question, then we'll close. Okay, that's a good one, Mr. Victor. You can hold on to your bullish setup. Just make sure, again, make sure you have a stop loss in place. Very important. Always use stop loss. It will protect your account. All right. Okay, in the absence of any other question, we're going to end the analysis here. If you're on the platform, you don't have an account with PU Prime, just go over right now to www.puprime.com and open a live account. There's still enough time between now and 11:12. You can verify your account. You can fund your account and be ready to trade with us by 2:30 p.m. We're going live actually by 2:15 p.m. Then between 2:15 and 2:25, we'll give you the analysis of the market, and also we'll post out the signal. We're going to give you a buy stop or a sell stop with a take profit and stop loss. All right, we'll see you again in the afternoon by 2:15 p.m. Trade safe and see you later in the day. Bye-bye.